I am in London, where today we have walked the route of our event on September 13th, where we will be meeting at Waterloo Station. That's the plan. We will then be coming over from Waterloo Station over Westminster Bridge. We will then have screens erected, 46-metre screens. Yeah? Not 1, 2, not 3, 4. Keep them going. At the minute, we just wanted to see that we could erect the speaker systems and the screens every 70 to 80 metres. We're going to be from Parliament Square to Trafalgar Square, and our main stages, etc., will be right bang outside Keir Starmer's front door. That's the plan. You're the people making it possible. Make your plans. We are having a festival of fun, of British identity, of celebration, of every single bit of it. Proper video that I've done today is going to come out, but I just wanted to know people are waiting to hear where, when. Look, it's going to be mustering from 12 at Waterloo. We're going to leave by 1. Yeah? Some people will be there from 10, 11, 12. But Waterloo, you will only get in by going via Waterloo. The reason being, we want sterile areas. We work with the police on this. So any left-wing, people worry all the time, what about Antifa, what about all those left-wing mugs? We make sure you don't see them. You haven't seen them in the last 3 events or 4 events because we've worked with the police on it. The police have been very cooperative in these demonstrations, in these organisations. We have a good relationship with them. We want fun. They're not our enemy. In fact, everywhere I walk, I met police today. Other police officers come up to the street saying they're looking forward to it. Okay? We're getting mass support from everyone, including the police. Make your plans, September 13th.
Controversial political activist and self-styled free speech crusader Tommy Robinson has touched down in London ahead of what he claims will be the largest pro-free speech protest in modern history. The former English Defence League leader announced his arrival in the capital on Tuesday, stating that he is in the city to finalize plans for what he has dubbed a global-scale event scheduled for September 13th. For many, Robinson's name is synonymous with division, while his supporters laud him as a truth teller standing against political correctness. Critics accuse him of stoking racial hatred and perpetuating far-right narratives. His return to public organizing comes after a period of relative quiet, following a series of arrests, contempt of court convictions, and bans from mainstream platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Yet, despite these restrictions, Robinson has maintained his influence through alternative media channels and encrypted messaging apps, where his videos and calls to action continue to circulate widely. While Robinson has yet to disclose specific details about the event, his framing of it as the biggest free speech event the world has ever seen suggests ambitions beyond the typical protest. Sources close to his camp hint at a large-scale gathering, possibly involving international speakers and a high-profile venue in central London. Others have speculated the date may be timed to coincide with parliamentary activities or other symbolic political moments. Robinson's latest mobilization comes amid a broader debate in the UK about the limits of free expression. Recent government proposals to crack down on online hate speech and misinformation have ignited fury among certain political groups, particularly on the right, who see such legislation as state censorship in disguise. Predictably, civil rights groups and anti-racism advocates are already voicing concern. Hope Not Hate, a UK-based organization that monitors extremist activity, has warned that Robinson's planned protest could serve as a rallying cry for fair-right agitators across Europe. Whether September 13th will deliver on Robinson's promise of a record-breaking event remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that his re-entry into the national conversation is already generating headlines and controversy. For supporters, it's a long overdue stand against what they see as authoritarian overreach. For critics, it's the resurrection of a dangerous figure exploiting public anxieties for personal gain. As the date draws closer, one thing is certain. London is once again bracing for a political flashpoint, and Tommy Robinson is at its center.
And that unrelenting squirmathon between Sir Keir Starmer and President Trump. Well, what was your overall take on that?
It looked to me like he'd scuttled up to Scotland. It's quite unusual, I think, for a leader to run up to where the president is at the golf course. He sat there and he looked like his dummy. And, he didn't challenge him on anything. The press conference was a bigger challenge than Keir Starmer was. But I just think it made him look weak. And the stuff that Trump was saying, the stuff he attacked the subsidies on wind turbines. He said that he had to provide cheaper energy. He said the one that tackles immigration is going to win the next election. Spot on everything. And everything he said was everything Keir Starmer is not doing in this country.
Yeah.
And I think Starmer, you saw him when he met his wife Victoria there, the two of them, literally squirming. They couldn't keep their faces straight. Trump is saying what he's saying. Trump was right on everything he said about what we should be doing. Yeah. Starmer never once said, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm running, whatever. He let he let the leader of the free world tell him how to run his country.
I thought it was incredibly emasculating.
Yes.
I thought it was one of the most emasculating things I've ever seen.
But only because Starmer allowed it to be. Because he didn't chip in, he didn't talk. He just sat there like a little boy being told off. He didn't have to just sit there like a little boy.
On that free speech issue, Benjamin, specifically, that Keir Starmer's got his tried and tested line, isn't it, which is we've had a long history of free speech in Britain, a long history of free speech in Britain. OK, well then let's have a look at about this. There's this online immigration task force now. We're going to have the Islamophobia rule. We've got the Online Safety Act, all of that stuff. He can't realistically stand there and say that anymore, can he? He is a threat to free speech, isn't he?
No, not at all. Look, you've tried really hard to pretend that this didn't go well, when quite obviously it's gone very well. The first thing that Donald Trump said is Keir Starmer is, quote unquote, a very good leader. He said he's dealing with immigration well.
What else is he going to say when he's sitting the front away from him?
They have a quite remarkably good relationship. That's how they got the trade deal before any of the other countries and organisations got it. Donald Trump has praised Keir Starmer every single juncture. Now, there's no disputing, there's no doubting that they are not natural bedfellows. And quite frankly, I think if you're a patriot, you would take pride in the fact that a British Prime Minister of a very different tradition has managed to befriend someone who is as combative as Trump. And he knew in that meeting today, we're all suggesting he should have argued back on different policies. Donald Trump's allowed to have his views. Keir Starmer knew that doing some kind of Zelensky slight tantrum wasn't going to get him anywhere, because we saw what happened. He behaved with dignity and he behaved as the British Prime Minister.
He behaved like a rabbit caught in the car headlights.
What, do you really think?
That wasn't dignity, that was totally undignified.
In the office of Prime Minister, he is not there to undermine the President. They had a
the President is not there to undermine him, but he did.
Labour leader Keir Starmer faced a wave of criticism following his joint press conference with Donald Trump, with columnist Caroline Malone leading the charge. Speaking on GB News, Malone labelled Starmer weak and embarrassing, accusing him of failing to push back against Trump's inflammatory remarks and lacking the strength to assert Britain's position on the world stage. He looked terrified, Malone said, slamming Starmer for what she called a pathetic performance that let Trump dominate the conversation unchecked. Journalist Benjamin Butterworth fired back, defending Starmer's measured approach as mature leadership. According to Butterworth, Starmer showed diplomatic restraint, not weakness. The two commentators clashed heatedly on air, interrupting each other as tensions boiled over. The incident has reignited debate over Starmer's ability to lead on the global stage. While supporters praise his calm demeanour, critics say it reveals a lack of backbone. The Labour leader's team has not commented, but the press conference and the backlash is sure to fuel further scrutiny of Starmer's leadership style as Britain looks ahead to its next general election.